Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So to get started, I'm priming my lips with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Lip Saver, which is just like a treatment and a moisturizer in one, and it's just going to prime my lips for my lip product later. So then moving on to the eyes, I'm taking a fluffy brush and Makeup Geek's Latte, which is a very neutral, perfect transition shade for a cool toned look. So I'm just putting that in the crease from inner to outer corner, and I also really want to focus that on the outer V area, just making sure it's nice and blended out there under the tail of the brow because I want it to be sort of an angular look. And then I'm going to grab an even larger fluffy brush, just really quickly going over that, making sure it's nice and blended. Then I'm going back to the first brush and taking Barcelona Beach, also from Makeup Geek, and this is another perfect shade for doing a cool toned look and working with those blues and purples and teals. It has gray and almost purple undertones to it, but it's still like a neutral brown, so again I'm just running that back and forth in my crease, keeping it a little bit lower than the latte shade, and then when there's a little bit less on the brush, I will spend some more time on the outer V area, just focusing on creating that triangle shape to create more of a cat eye look. Then I don't know why I'm using this brush. This is like a shader brush, and I should have used a pencil brush because I wanted to define the crease even more and really get in there and create more of a cut crease look. So I'm taking the chocolate shade from the Chocolate Bar palette from Too Faced, and I'm really just kind of cutting the crease, not being too defined with it because I am going to blend it out and switch to an even more precise brush. This is just really to kind of add more color and add more depth to the crease before we go in with our deeper cool toned brown, which is also from the same palette, and I'm taking that on a Sigma angled brush, which again should have used a pencil brush. Don't know why I chose this, but it did the job. I'm just gonna have to spend a little bit more time blending it out. So basically I'm just placing down this darker color where I want it in the crease, and then I'm taking that first blending brush with probably a little bit left over of the Latte and Barcelona Beach, and then I'm just going to blend away that darker brown, and voila, it just kind of blends into those other colors, and that's why we put those down, to make this process a little bit easier on us. And then of course with all the blending you're going to lose some intensity, so you're just going to go back with the darker brown, go over it and make it as dark as you want it. And don't forget to get into the inner corner with the dark color as well. That's why it's really important to have that transition color really nicely blended in the inner corner, so that way when you blend your darker color over it, it's not choppy, because that can happen a lot in that inner corner. So just make sure you're blending and do that until you're happy with it. And then here is a very blurry shot of me applying Too Faced glitter glue all over my lid to create a sticky base for when I apply this gorgeous shade from the new Urban Decay Moondust palette. This is called Light Year, and it's the beautiful teal sparkly shade in the palette, and I'm just applying that on a concealer brush up until the crease, and then I'm taking my finger and applying this all over the lid as well. I found that it gave a little bit more of the pigment that way, and these shadows do have a little bit of fallout as expected, but the pigmentation is just so good that the fallout didn't bother me. It was really manageable, and yeah, so I'm just going to blend out the edges of that just to make sure it's not super harsh, because I don't want it to be a cut crease, but I also don't want it to be super blended, if that makes sense. And then I'm taking the Wet n Wild Under the Sheets makeup remover wipes, which have been my favorite lately, and then instead of using tape, sometimes I'll do this technique where I fold the makeup remover wipe in half, use the edge and kind of wiggle downwards over the eyeshadow, and it just kind of removes it perfectly and creates a perfect line. And yeah, I've been loving that technique lately. So then I will just move on to foundation, which I realized that I wasn't even filming, my camera was not recording, and you saw my face. I was so angry about it, but moving on. So I'm taking my concealer, the Urban Decay Weightless Concealer, and I'm putting this underneath my eyes, and then switching over to my highlighter, which is the IT Cosmetics Hello Brightener. I've talked about both of these products 100 times, so no explanation here, just putting them in the highlighting areas, chin, bridge of the nose, forehead, and then blending that out with my damp beauty blender. You've seen this stuff 100 times, so I'm probably just going to fast forward a little bit through all this stuff. Okay, bye-bye. after everything is blended, I'm taking my RCMA No Color Powder and my Real Technique sponge, and I'm just baking underneath the eyes because this is where I get creasing the quickest. So I'm not going to worry about setting anywhere else right now because I want to test out a new product that I got at BeautyCon from a wonderful company called Velvet 59. All their products are cruelty-free and vegan, and so I wanted to test out this cream contour kit called Contour is a Girl's Best Friend, and the packaging is really cute. And I was talking to the owner and she was telling me about the formula, how it's a cream to powder finish, which is really interesting. I've never seen a cream contour kit that was a powder finish, so I was kind of skeptical, but oh my gosh, I was blown away at how magical this was to blend. I'm applying the product with a Real Techniques Face Expert brush, and I think the duo worked really well together. I mean, this was like the easiest palette I've used when it comes to cream contouring, and I feel like it's just the best that it's looked for me. And I was literally just complaining about cream contouring a couple videos back, so the makeup gods have answered my prayers and gave me a wonderful product. And there's also highlighting shades in the palette as well. I just haven't used those yet, so if any of you guys have this palette, or if you are thinking about getting it just for the contour shades, which I really do recommend, I think it's awesome, let me know how you feel about it and if you guys like the formula as much as I do. So then I'm just going to set that cream contouring in place, and I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, and holy moly, I know, trust me, I was aware, I put way too much on, and now I'm just going to blend that away. Blend that away. Okay, let's move on. Alright, then I'm just applying some blush. I believe this is called Balm Beach by The Balm, and it's a very beautiful peachy color, and I'm applying that with a Real Techniques blush brush. This is part of the Metals collection, and I love it. And then to give my skin a more dewy and healthy appearance, I'm going to load up on highlighter, and for that I'm using an oldie but a goodie. It's the highlighter from my IT Cosmetics Vitality Face Disc. It's one of my favorites. It's a beautiful white highlighter with more of pink undertones rather than gold or champagne. So I'm just going to put that pretty much all over my face, and then I'm going to move back onto the eyes. So I'm taking my ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Swerve, which is just a black liner to tightline, and then I'm moving on to lashes, and I'm applying my favorite lashes of the moment, which I know I'm super late to this party, but these are the House of Lashes Iconics, and these are really beautiful, long and wispy synthetic lashes, which is really important because you want to avoid wearing lashes made out of animal fur because it's just unnecessary when there are synthetic ones that look just as amazing, such as these. You know what I mean? I am just saying. So let's move on to the waterline. I am using a ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. I forgot the name, but I will leave that info down below. And then I'm going to coat my top and bottom lashes with this Tarte mascara, and then move on to the lips. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. I wanted to keep it pretty cool toned and just do a light pink, so I went with this ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Little Stitches. I think it matched really perfect with the eyes, and it's just a really pretty Your Lips But Better color. So that completes this makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This is probably one of my favorite looks that I've done in a while. I felt really pretty after filming, so yeah, I hope you guys recreate it, and if you do, don't forget to tag me on your social media. And that is it. I love you guys so much. I will see you later, and have a wonderful week. Bye guys.